3, Lime Old Lime, lane 4, Miss Porter's School in lane 5, and Cambridge Ringe in Latin in lane 6. Cambridge Ringe in Latin, coached by Catherine Davy, and Olympic gold medalist coxswain Bill Beckleen. Bill, I'm sure, must have mixed loyalties because Bill was an Exeter grad, and last year he donated his Olympic gold medal to be displayed at Exeter.
Miss Porter's take a couple port strokes.
Miss Porter's coaches include Robin Neschke, Zach Ross, Vanessa Moores, Carolyn Plow. Lime Old Lime includes coaches Louis Zubek and Paul Fuchs.
Groton, Mount Herman, Lime Old Lime,
Mount Herman.
Miss Porter's, CRLS, attention.
Northfield Mount Herman girls coaches include Louise Kinder and Emily Chandler, Liz Donald, and Molly Lai. And we'll get to the rest of the coaches a little bit later because we have racing going on right now. Groton in lane 2. Coached by Tiffany Doggett, Cola Parker, Michaela Chung, and Eric Spire are in the lead along with Greenwich. Greenwich coached by Nathan Kress, Amy Van Nostren, Stani Slavova, and Susan Schmidt. So lanes 1 and 2, Greenwich and Groton, have a half-length lead up over Northfield Mount Herman. Those three crews have a length lead over Lime Old Lime, Miss Porter's, and Cambridge Ringe and Latin. Greenwich now has a half-length lead over Groton. Groton has a half-length over Northfield Mount Herman. Then it's open water back to Cambridge Ringe and Latin, Miss Porter's, and Lime Old Lime. And the field continues to spread out as Greenwich shows poise as they reach the 500-meter mark, a half a length ahead of Groton, who's a half a length ahead of Northfield Mount Herman. But Cambridge Ringe and Latin out here in lane 6, they are not giving up at all. They are taking seats away from the rest of the field. They're coming on strong. Hopefully they can get into the top 2 and make the grands this afternoon. Greenwich continues to look strong in lane 1. Half-length lead over Groton. It now has about a length of lead over Mount Herman. But in lane 6, Cambridge Ringe and Latin still has an overlap over Northfield Mount Herman. And we will turn it over for the finish line to see what this announcement final is.
Our 9:48 a.m. event on today's schedule. We are on time. This is the girls' second 4, heat number 1. In lane 1, Greenwich Academy. Lane 2, Groton. Lane 3, Northfield Mount Herman. Lane 4, Lime Old Lime. In lane 5 is Miss Porter's. And in lane 6, rounding out this girls' second 4, heat number 1, Cambridge Ringe and Latin School. On the course now, just over halfway of this 1,500-meter drag race. A nice battle ensues between Greenwich, Groton, and Northfield Mount Herman. Groton looks to be out on Greenwich by a deck, followed by Northfield Mount Herman approaching the point now. Just crossing the 1,000-meter mark, 500 meters to go. I'd like to thank our sponsors for today's event, Vespoli USA, our morning race lineup sponsor, Connecticut Business Systems, Shimano SRD, and Wintech and Row America. Thank you very much for all of your support for today's event. Again, those of you fresh on the scene, in lane 1 is Greenwich. Greenwich has come back on Groton and now pushes their bow ball out in front of Groton School, who's in lane 2. In lane 3, Northfield Mount Herman. Let's not forget about Cambridge Ringe and Latin School all the way across on the far shore in lane 6. Cambridge Ringe and Latin definitely in the mix. 3 to advance here, folks. These top 4 boats are close, certainly close between 3rd and 4th. Going after that coveted 3rd advancement position. It is Greenwich Academy in lane 1 out in front of the field by roughly 3/4 of a boat length over Groton. Groton in 2nd, followed closely by Cambridge Ringe and Latin and Northfield Mount Herman. Here comes CRLS out in lane 6. It's going to be close for 3rd. 3 will advance to the final. And this girls' second for Heat 1. It's Greenwich in lane 1 by half a boat over Groton. Make that 3/4 of a boat over Groton. Here comes Cambridge Ringe locked into the 3rd position for advancement. Can Northfield Mount Herman come back on CRLS? It will be Greenwich, Groton, Cambridge Ringe and Latin in lane 6. Here comes Mount Herman. Too tight to tell for that 3rd position. Back to the start. Miss Porter School in lane 5, followed by Lime Old Lime, rounding out this girls' second for heat number 1.
Brooks, coached by Tote Smith. Windsor, coached by Lisa Stone and Naomi Walker. BB&N, coached by John Cotter, Wendy Svatek, Jean Kling.